What is going on, everybody? My name is Andrew Francis, and welcome to the very first episode of Andrew's Awesome Car Cast, or as I like to call it, A2C2. The name might need work, but that's what we're rolling with for now. As I said, I'm your host, Andrew Francis, and this is my podcast. And what it's going to be is, see, I live in Los Angeles County, but for some of you who may not know, Los Angeles County is a very big place, and where I live is very far from where I work. So every day I have a 2-hour commute to and from my office. So I decided to start making this time in my car more productive. So I went out, got a GoPro camera, slapped it to my dashboard, and here we are. So let's just get right into it. First thing I want to talk about is work in general. See, as I already said, I am someone with a very long commute, so you would think I would be doing something that I really love, given that I am making this huge drive twice a day. But in fact, I'm not. See, a little backstory about me, for those of you who may not know, which I'm going to imagine is most everyone watching and or listening to this, is that my degree is in film and television. And when I graduated, I did my damnedest to try and find something sustainable in media, you know, film and television. But for whatever reason, lack of talent, lack of effort, just plain bad luck, whatever it may be, I was unsuccessful. And as most of us do, we eventually have to get real jobs for whatever reason. You know, like I said, maybe your dream didn't work out like mine did, or, you know, you just got to pay the bills, which for me, it's both of those. So what I do now, come to think of it, I don't really know if I want to say what I do right now, at least not here. I'm sure anyone watching this who knows me absolutely knows what I do, but I'm not sure if I want to say that on camera, just because I'm not 100% sure if that'll get me or anyone in trouble. So for now, I'm going to hold off on that. But I will say that obviously it's just not my dream job. So that's, again, part of the reason why I'm doing this. This is a lot closer to what it is I do ideally want to be doing in life. So getting back on the subject of work. So one thing I really want to talk about is that it's difficult. I find it difficult for me personally to separate people at work from people in their personal daily lives. Now, what I mean by that is that you can deal with someone on a daily or weekly or whatever basis because of work. You know, like I said, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's a client, maybe it's just the UPS guy who delivers your office packages, whoever it may be. And you might not necessarily like working with this person. You know, they may make it difficult for you, either intentionally or unintentionally, you know, whatever it may be. And because of that, you naturally develop some sort of animosity towards this person. And the reason I bring that up is because I had a revelation the other day, which is I need to be better at separating that person at work from that person in their real, quote unquote, real life. By which I mean, just because I may not like them at work doesn't mean I may not like them in the real world. See, just because someone's a jerk at work, rhyme, doesn't mean they're a bad person outside of that. So, you know, you could go to work with someone who is a complete dickhead, you know, a complete asshole, you hate them, but then it turns out they spend all their free time at homeless shelters and soup kitchens. And then you're the asshole. So I'm trying to work on remembering that, just because I feel like it's gonna make me a better person, because I don't want to carry that over. Because what this really stems from is I found myself I'm sure, like most everyone, if not everyone out there, there's someone you do not enjoy working with at all, and I found myself wishing these people harm. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Because like I said, just because I don't like them at work doesn't mean they're not the nicest person in the world outside of work. and I don't want to take that away from them. So I'm trying to be better at checking all that just at the door. As soon as I leave my office, like, that part of my life ends. Like, you know what? This stays back here. Time to go out into the world with a better positive energy and outlook and try and carry that forward. You know, not trying to drag the trials and tribulations of work behind me all day like an anchor. You know, just cut that line and just go out happy and positive. And another reason because I bring that up, because I notice myself, again, with my job not being my dream job and with this long commute I have daily, you know, I find myself getting home and I'm just defeated. I'm just absolutely defeated after work. Excuse me. Even though I am someone who exercises every day, so I never cut that out no matter what. No matter if I'm having a good or bad day at work, you know, good, bad traffic, I always get my workout in. But so I leave my office at 5. Takes me anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours plus to get home. So by the time I get home, it's around 7 o'clock, you know, give or take. And by the time I get home, so like I said, it's around 7. So then I exercise, shower off, eat, and then do whatever it is, you know, I may need to do around the house, you know, take out trash, clean this, clean that, maybe run to the store, you know, whatever it may be. And by the time I do all that, it's around or damn near close to 9. And so like this just, and when all that's done, I'm just done. I'm just defeated. Like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit in my room and watch TV, play video games, or, you know, watch people on Twitch, you know, just relax, cheer myself up, and just, you know, just be good in that moment. But there are times where I've been actually invited out by friends to go do something, like say, hey Andy, you want to go see a movie this day, or, you know, you want to come get a drink, or, you know, do this, do that, and the other thing. And I tend to tell those people no much more often than I say yes, just because I know by the time I'm off work and I get home and all that, like I said, I'm just defeated. I'm just absolutely defeated. And so that brings it back around to that whole point of just cutting that shit at the door when I leave work, leaving all that negativity behind me. So then hopefully I'll leave the office feeling better. You know, just leave it behind me, come out, and I'll just be good, and I'll want to say yes, and I'll want to I'll want to go out and have a good time. I'll want to see people, because I do honestly want to be more sociable, but work just destroys me sometimes, and I'm trying to get better at that. And what's even worse is that I'll notice it carries over to the weekend, because I'm so tired from the weekdays. When the weekend arrives, I just need that time to recharge the batteries. So, like, you know, I do Monday through Friday. So, you know, then when Friday night and Saturday and Sunday roll around, I'm just like, I don't want to leave my house. I just want to stay here, see what's on TV, watch Netflix, video games, whatever comes to mind, you know. Just relax and recharge the battery just so I can spend 5 more days of misery, you know? Like, it's a vicious cycle. So I'm trying to end that, which this is kind of what this podcast is about. It's about me trying to just find some more positive energy in my life, trying to do more things that make me happy, which will hopefully lead to even more things that make me happy, which will hopefully lead to more things that make other people happy. Because I like to think, anyways, that when I'm happy, I'm much more inclined to make others happy. You know, it's easier to help others have a good time when you're having a good time. At least that's one theory that I have anyways. So yeah, that's something I'm working on here, and hopefully this podcast will help me with that. But anyways, getting into the fun stuff now that that little rant intro is out of the way. So the first thing I really want to talk about, as of recording this today is Thursday, February 28th at, it's about 5:15 p.m. Earlier today, Bryce Harper signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. This pisses me off. Not greatly, because I saw this coming, but it still pisses me off because if you can't tell by the beanie on my head at the moment, I'm a Los Angeles Dodgers fan, and goddamn it, Bryce Harper should have been a Dodger. He should have. He is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 best position players in baseball right now. You can make an argument that he's not top 5, but he's absolutely top 10 then. He's top 10 for sure, but again, in my book, I have him top 5, and he should have been a Dodger. He should be in Dodger blue right now. And so the Dodgers, brief recent history is the Dodgers have been in the World Series the past 2 years, lost the first year to Houston, really should beat the fuck out of them, and then ran into just the buzzsaw that was the Boston Red Sox last year. And last year, early in the season, our all-star shortstop Corey Seager had to go on the DL, tore his ACL, had to get that surgery, and missed the entire year. And so in response to that, late in the season when the Dodgers were making their playoff push, they signed Manny Machado. Manny Machado, who a few weeks ago signed a 10-year, $300 million deal with the San Diego Padres. Now this one I saw coming. Like I was hoping Manny might come back and the Dodgers might, find a position for him, because we have all-star Justin Turner on third. Corey would be playing short. But I know Manny Machado was very vocal about, I forget if it was short or third, but he was very vocal about he wanted to play one of those 2 positions. So I thought the solution might be we keep Manny Machado, and then Turner's on third, Manny's on short, and then Seager might go to second, because Seager never, vocalized any need to want to stay at short or anything, plus I believe he could play second. But yeah, but anyways, that didn't end up happening. And towards the end of the season, I pretty much knew that was going to happen. I always, like I said, I hoped he would stay, but I always knew Manny Machado was a rental player. He was just there to supplement the absence of Corey Seager. Because, Corey Seager, he's the guy we drafted him, we brought him up. He's amazing already. He's going to just continue to get even better. He is our shortstop. He is the Dodgers shortstop. And so when Manny left, I knew he was gone. It annoyed me a little bit that he stayed within the division, that he's a Padre, someone in the Dodgers division. So that means we're going to have to face him however many fucking times it is a year, 16 or 20, whatever the hell it is. And that's going to annoy me. But the Padres, in my opinion, are still hot garbage. I mean, okay, they have one really good all-star now. They have, one of the best shortstops in baseball, sure, but they still have no pitching. There's no one around him. And then the other thing is they gave him 10 years, $300 million. The fact that the Dodgers already have, granted, Justin Turner is getting up there in age a little bit, but the skill hasn't seen much of a decline. That's the other thing. So the fact that we have Turner and Seager, I get it. But yeah, I absolutely think that we'll be fine without Manny. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, as I already said, this is me in my car driving, as you can see. So, every once in a while, just gotta pay more attention to the road. But yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, the loss of Manny Machado, not that big of a sting. Because like I said, he's on the shitty Padres. I'm not worried about them at all. I don't sweat the Padres. No problem there. He's a great player on a poor team. He went for the money, He didn't want to win. He went for the money. Which, hey, I understand. Get your money, man. 10 years, $300 million is nothing to sneeze at. He's getting paid, and he deserves to. He absolutely deserves that money. But Bryce Harper, so the Dodgers let Manny go. I, knew that was coming. That's fine. We let Manny go. And then we trade Yasiel Puig, Matt Kemp, and Alex Wood to the Reds for, I don't even remember what, to be honest. That might have been, I can't remember if Joe Kelly was acquired in that trade or if we picked him up off free agency. But we essentially just unloaded Puig, Kemp, and Woods for the salary to save money. Now, Matt Kemp, OG Dodger, this is now the second time I've had to watch him let him go. That fucking hurt. Especially after having such a great year. He was screwed out of comeback player of the year. He was absolutely screwed out of it. Matt Kemp should have goddamn been the 2018 MLB comeback player of the year with the season he had. Like, it boggles my mind that he didn't win that award, and I'm pissed about it, but it is what it is. And so, I had to watch him leave again. One of my favorite Dodger players growing up. I know Matt Kemp isn't old, but, you know, watching him and Andre Ethier and Clayton Kershaw all come up at the same time, it hurt watching him leave the first time. It hurt even more watching him the second time. Because I thought, because he had such a great season last year, that we would keep him around as a fan favorite, and B, more importantly, a nice veteran presence in the locker room. You know, everyone, from what I've heard, everyone likes Matt Kemp. I don't know anyone who has a problem with Matt Kemp. You know, he's a leader. Again, had that great season last year. I thought he would have kept around, but no, had to watch him go. Great. And then Puig. Oh man, Puig is young. Well, I guess not that young anymore. It's been a couple years now, but he's younger than Matt Kemp. But Puig is talent. And I know I've heard the argument like, oh, you know, Puig's been in the league now a couple years. If he was going to be great, we'd have seen it by now. Like, he'd be in that groove, in that zone. But I disagree with that. Because baseball is a tricky sport like that. Baseball is a long, grueling, just grind. Baseball is a grind. As Vin Scully, gotta miss Vin as well, as Vin Scully once said, baseball is not a young man sport. It is not an old man sport. It is not a fast man sport. It is not a slow man sport. It is a strong man sport. And Yasiel Puig is a strong man. Now, I know Vin wasn't necessarily meaning, you know, physical strength. He meant, like, although physical strength is part of it, he also meant mental toughness. And these are the parts where I think where Puig is a strong man. He is very physically strong if you've ever seen him play. He gets a hold of the ball, that thing's gone, and then you've seen he has a cannon from the outfield. And then he's just a fan favorite. Who doesn't love Puig? Like, what Dodger fan didn't love Puig? All the antics that would piss everyone else in the league off, the fans love it. You know, sure, he violated the unwritten rules of baseball with the bat flips, and like I said, all the antics and whatnot, but they were fun. Like, they were just fun antics. I don't understand what most of baseball's problem was with him. But then the potential. Again, baseball, long growing sport. Given that, I think what you really only need to get yourself going is you just need that one good year. Like, you need to have that one, like a full solid year of top tier play. Just get a taste of that. And if you're someone who's going to be one of the greats, or maybe not an all-time great, but a great playing at the moment, you know, like someone who is elite talent in the league, once you get a taste of that, you just keep it going. You ride that high. And the sun's going down now, so I'm taking the shades off. And you ride that high. And I absolutely believe that Yasiel Puig is someone who would ride that high. Like, he's a very momentum-driven player. Like, when he's riding high, he's riding high. And I believe if he could experience a season, like a full season of him just playing well, he would keep that going throughout his career. And now I'm upset that he will no longer be a Dodger, because if that shit comes as a Red, I'm gonna be pissed. Now, granted, he is a free agent after next year, so potentially they could bring him back, although I fucking doubt it. But I'm just really gonna miss Puig. I am really, really gonna miss Puig. Like, Alex Wood, not gonna lie, sorry buddy, don't really care. Like, you were good. He was no way bad. Alex Wood was in no way bad, but he's not Nace. You know, if game 6 or 7 of the World Series, we need a dub, and everyone's available in the pen. I'm not marching out Alex Wood. You know, like, again, perfectly serviceable pitcher. He's fine. I got no real beef against him. But yeah, like I just said, I'm not too heartbroken that he's gone. But so, getting back on the subject of Bryce Harper now, so we unload the 3 of them and save all this money. And when we do this, in my mind, I'm instantly thinking we're going after Bryce. We're going to go hard after Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is 26, 27, I forget. He is one of the best players in baseball, and he flat out, he was like, I want to leave Washington because I want money and I want to win. Dodgers been in the World Series back-to-back. Deepest pockets in baseball now. 2 + 2 = 4, right? But then I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what happened. I'm obviously not in the room with his agent and the teams, I'm not Bryce Harper, so I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. But somehow the Dodgers didn't sign him. He signed today with the Philadelphia Phillies, fuck them, for 13 years, $330 million. The richest contract in baseball. I'm pretty confident the richest contract in sports history. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I would bet good money that that's it. Now, 13 years. I wouldn't give him 13 years. He's 20, like I said, he's 26, 27. That means by the time that contract expires, he's going to be 40. You know, I don't need 40-year-old Bryce Harper on my team. Like, the Phillies are going to be stuck paying him for a while. I understand. You absolutely pay Bryce Harper. I get that. I don't know. I don't think I would have gone above. I don't think I would have gone above 10 years. It's like, I don't know what the Dodgers were offering. I think I saw a tweet earlier saying that they weren't offering 10 years, which I agree with that. I absolutely see the move there. Dodgers don't want to make that long-term commitment because, hell, you can't see the future. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, Bryce could blow out his knee and that could be it. But still, like, the potential curve he's on right now, that potential trajectory is a better word. The trajectory he's on right now, you absolutely pay him. And I don't understand why we didn't pay him. I don't know. I read a rumor that we didn't show him the years because he said, Bryce Harper did express that he wanted a long-term deal. But I don't know what we offered him money-wise. So I would have backed the Brinks truck up for him. Like, if he wanted a minimum of 10-year deals and Dodgers didn't want to offer him 10, okay, fine. I'd offer him, let's see, he got 13 for 330. I'd offer him, I don't know, 7 for 280, 250, maybe even 3. Like, maybe I would have just gone 3, 7 for 3, and see if he can say no to that. Like, you in LA getting paid. Like, it boggles my mind how he's not a Dodger. And he's on Philly. He's on an average team. The Dodgers have been back to the World Series twice. And he's on the Phillies, who are, granted, back to Manny Machado, they're better than the Padres, I'll give them that. But they're not threatening anything. Like, who's on that team? It's him, Real Muto, and an aging Andrew McCutchen now. McCutchen's still good. He's okay, but he ain't what he used to be. And then Real Muto, sure, there's all this hype about he's the best hitting catcher in baseball. Yeah, but that's not saying much is the problem. He might be I don't know the numbers offhand. He might be the best hitting catcher in baseball. It's probably him or Ground Dog thinking about it. But that means he's batting average is like, what? 260, 270 maybe? Maybe, it could be 300. Again, I don't know the numbers. I doubt it's 300, but it very well could be. I don't know. But yeah, so like, that's just good. He's the best for catchers. Like, you stack him up against everyone else in baseball, it's not that impressive. So yeah, so he's on, and Phillies have no pitching. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That is not an impressive pitching rotation. Like, and it showed by the fact that they missed the fucking playoffs this year or last year. So I mean, I don't understand that part. I understand they showed him the money, 13,330. Absolutely, get your money, Bryce. But they're not going to win shit. They're just not. So I guess the winning part wasn't that important to him, or the Dodger. I don't know what the Dodger offer was. That's another thing. I don't know what the Dodger offer was, as I've said. So maybe they lowballed the shit out of him and he just, you know, brushed it off. I don't know. Maybe the Dodgers didn't show him enough money. In which case, I don't know what the Dodgers are thinking. Because again, I don't know how you don't show him the money. Like Bryce Harper, top 5 talent in baseball. Show him the money. And then an interesting thing that stems from that now for the future. Now this is interesting now. Speaking of the Dodgers, this is interesting. So now Bryce Harper, 13 years, $330 million with the Phillies. In 2 years, Mike Trout is a free agent, unrestricted free agent. Mike Trout is arguably, he's either one or two. He's either the best or the second best player in baseball, in my opinion. It's between him and Mookie Betts. It's probably Mike Trout, but Mookie Betts, strong argument, especially after that playoff showing. Mookie Betts absolutely dominated in the playoffs. I gotta hand that to him. That was an impressive showing for Mookie. So yeah, but Mike Trout, free agent in 2 years, what's his deal gonna look like? Given the fact that Bryce just pulled 13 for 330, I don't see Mike Trout getting less than $400 million. I think we are looking at the first $400 million man in Mike Trout. Unless he just really doesn't care about the money, but I don't see that happening. Sure, some guys are like, oh, you know, I want to win, but dude, most guys don't have the potential to make $400 million. Mike Trout has the potential to make $400 million, and I'm sure his agent's not going to let him fucking forget that come free agency. Like, you know, hey, Mike, I understand you want to win, but we can get you paid too, so maybe let's go to a team who can win and get you paid. Dodgers just missed out on Bryce Harper. Dodgers will show him the money. So that's interesting to me. Will the Dodgers pay Mike Trout? They wouldn't pay Bryce Harper, apparently. Will they pay Mike Trout? This is way down the line. I really hope so. So the Dodgers' current outfield, without Bryce Harper, the current outfield is, we're looking at, then this is under the assumption that Max Muncy stays at first. With Max Muncy at first, the Dodgers' outfield is Cody Bellinger, Jock Peterson, and then I'm gonna guess a platoon of Alex Verdugo, those of you who may not know him, which is probably mostly everyone, except for my brother and Chasen, if Chasen listens to this. But Alex Verdugo is a young guy the Dodgers have in the farm system right now. Probably our best overall prospect. Definitely he will definitely see some time this year. Will he be on the opening day roster? Maybe, I don't know. I like to think he will be. We'll see. But yeah, he is definitely a candidate for that third outfielder spot. And then AJ Pollock, the guy which I'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, AJ Pollock is a former Diamondback, I believe. The Dodgers signed in free agency this year. We gave him a pretty decent deal, which let me believe early on that we weren't going to sign Bryce Harper. Like, I pretty much knew Bryce was going to the Phillies. It was only a few days ago that, like, there was a rumor that the Dodgers were back in it because the Phillies were bowing out for some reason, whatever. Didn't happen, though. So, yeah, so when we signed AJ Pollock, I pretty much knew we were out of Bryce Harper, even though, like I said, I'm repeating myself. But, yeah. But yeah, I believe him and Verdugo, those four guys are going to make up the outfield. They'll rotate it based on pitching and injuries and rest and whatnot. So yeah, Bellinger, Peterson, Verdugo, and Pollock are going to make up your outfield. There is absolutely room for Mike Trout in there. None of those, Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is the only one of those guys who is safe. Like, Cody Bellinger is an absolute stud. Like, he is not going anywhere. That's a Dodger. Like, we're going to keep him around as long as possible. Like, I love Cody Bellinger. Other than that, all those other dudes are replaceable, especially if the option is Mike fucking Trout. So in 2 years, I really hope the Dodgers show him the money. Like, you wouldn't show Bryce the money. Okay, fine. Mike Trout. Mike goddamn Trout. Pay him. Pay him. Pay that man his money. I really hope we get him. That would be great. Especially, it would be a big middle finger fuck you to the Angels. The Angels aren't even in the NL, but I fucking hate them because they have the goddamn nerve to call themselves the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Los Angeles County is a very big place. Anaheim's not in it. Anaheim is outside of LA County, and they still call themselves the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Stupid shit. So that's the sports part of this podcast. Yeah, the beautiful part of this podcast is I get to talk about whatever I want. There is no structure, no format. I can segue into whatever I want, and I'm about to. Because now we are moving from sports to anime. So, recently I have been watching One Piece. One Piece, for anyone who doesn't know, is an anime started in the 90s. I want to say 94, 95 in Japan. Came to America in, I think a decade later, like 04, 05, I think, and it's great. I love One Piece. It's the story of it's a story of your main character. His name is Monkey D. Luffy. He's the leader of the Straw Hat Pirates, thus named because of his straw hat, who he gets from his mentor, red-haired Shanks. That's a whole thing I'm not going to get into in a moment. But yeah, he's the leader of the Straw Hat Pirates. It's I believe currently it's him, Roronoa Zoro, Nami. Fuck, what is Nami's full name? I can't think. Why can I not think of Nami's full name offhand? I can't. Nico Robin, Tony Chopper, who is a reindeer, Frankie, and Brooks. I believe that's everyone. Oh, fucking Sanji. Excuse me. How did I almost forget Sanji? And Sanji. And yeah, so they are what currently make up the Straw Hat Pirates. And so their pirates, each one of them has their own individual goal in life, but their goals serve to help the others. So that's why they all came together. They're friends, family, all that. And so yeah, but again, your main character is Monkey D. Luffy, just Luffy. Luffy is, I believe currently he's 18, I think, not entirely sure, but he, as a young boy, ate what is called in this world of One Piece, he ate the Gum Gum fruit. The Gum Gum fruit allows him to stretch to great proportions, and he's essentially invulnerable. Like, you can shoot bullets and a cannon at him, and, you know, the Gum Gum fruit makes him rubber. So he can just absorb that and actually shoot it back at you. Also, and this is weird, they've been inconsistent about this, about swords that can cut him. Because I've seen it where people will take a sword to him and it just breaks or bounces off it, but then I've seen some that can cut him. Like Zoro's swords can cut him, and other swords have been able to cut him, but then some can't. I don't necessarily know how that works. But anyways, so yeah, it's a great show. It's, oh man, so the show's been on, like I said, it started in Japan in 94. It's still going today. There are still new episodes of One Piece being made today. They're on season, I want to say it's somewhere around like 16. It's like, I want to say between 16 and 18. They're somewhere around there. And so I just decided to, since it's been years and it's such a great show, I've just decided to start rewatching it. So I'm in season 2. I think I'm towards the end, or maybe middle. No, because there's a ton. That's it. There's a ton of episodes of this show. Season 2, I think, is made up of somewhere around 60 some odd episodes, maybe even more. I'm on episode. I think I'm somewhere in the 70s within season 2. And oh man, I am just falling in love with the show all over again. It's been so long since I've seen the original episodes, like the first however even many seasons, that I remember little to nothing about them. So I'm basically rediscovering this show again for the first time, and oh man, is it good. It's so good. Just everything about it. The animation style, fantastic. It's beautiful. The voice acting is perfect. You know, you got oh my god, I hate myself. It's either Colleen Clickenbeard or Caitlin Glass who's Luffy. I hate myself for not being able to pinpoint this at the moment. And I'd look it up when I'm driving. Oh man. I want to say it's Colleen Clickenbeard. It does the American voice of Luffy. I'm going to just go ahead and say it's Colleen. It's amazing. You got Christopher Sabat as Zoro. It's just perfect. I love the voice. I love the voices of this show. It's amazing. It's got so much heart. Like the messaging in this show, in each episode too, they really drive it home. It's beautiful. It's like each character, because like I said, each character has their own motivations for joining the Straw Hat Pirates. Like Luffy's thing is Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. That's his goal. And so what that means to him is that he wants everything the world has to offer. It's like it's in the opening of the show. The original king of the pirates was a guy named Gold Rogers, hahaha. And they say in the opening of the show, like, he obtained wealth, fame, power, everything the world had to offer, and he was dubbed King of the Pirates. And that's what Luffy wants to be, King of the Pirates. He wants everything the world has to offer. Now, the wealth, fame, and power, he's not necessarily concerned with that. Like, Luffy doesn't care about those things. He just wants, like, those are byproducts of what he wants to accomplish. Like, he basically wants to go on every single adventure the world has to offer. Like, he doesn't want to conquer or kill, but he wants to just achieve. Like, any task or challenge, he wants to do it. If he thinks it's cool, he wants to do it. And he, as such, he never turns down a fight. But he doesn't fight to kill, he just fights to win. He fights to win, and he fights for his friends. Like, that's one of the main driving factors of Luffy. Is like, Luffy is, like I said, he's the rubber man. And he embodies that in the spirit of, oh, you know, whatever bounces off me and sticks to you. Because that's true. Because Luffy, anything you say to Luffy, Luffy doesn't care. Like, you can hurl insults and stuff at him all day and he doesn't care. It bounces off him. What Luffy cares about is when you try and harm his friends. The people he loves and cares about. That's when Luffy goes berserk and he just breaks out the ass whoopings. Like, if you try and hurt any member of his crew, especially the crew, you try and fuck with his crew, Luffy's going to wreck you. And I love that. I love it so much. Like, that's when Luffy is at his best. Because other than that, he's a happy-go-lucky dumb character. And it's great. I love that too. But oh man, like, when you see it, like when you see someone fucking with a member of his crew and you see that switch flip, and it's so great. It's so great. Oh my God, this show is so good. I love it. And then you have Zoro. Zoro is their swordsman. Zoro is, I guess at the moment, he is the second greatest swordsman in the world. His goal is to become the greatest. So how do you become the greatest swordsman? You go out and you challenge for it. You go out, you know, you have fights with other people. You test your skill. So that's how him and Luffy get together. Like, Luffy tells him, like, hey, I'm having all these adventures. I'm gonna go to some of the strangest places in the world and face some of the strongest creatures and people ever. You should come with me. And he's in. But Zoro, even though he seems very aloof, like he seems to not really care, he's just like, whatever, often napping and whatnot. Like, Zoro cares. You know, Zoro's got that heart of gold. You know, he will absolutely stand up for his friends as well. But all in the service of him becoming the world's greatest swordsman. And then you have Sanji. Sanji is the ship's cook. And Sanji's dream is to find what he calls the all blue. See, in this world, all the oceans are divided into four. There's the East Blue, the West Blue, the North Blue, and the South Blue. And they're divided by what in the show is called the Grand Line. No, I'm sorry. The Grand Line is the stretch of ocean they're on. The Red Line, it's the Red Line, which is this giant, like, reddish colored mountain mass. And because of that, you know, it's impossible for all four oceans to intersect somewhere. But Sanji, as a kid, grew up believing that he heard a story, and he believes it to be true in his heart, that there is a part of the world somewhere within the Grand Line called the All Blue, where all four oceans meet, and there are fish from thus all over the world in this area. And because he's a cook, he wants to go there and catch these fish and make, you know, some of the greatest food ever that the world has ever seen. Because that's his thing. He takes so much pride in his food. And also, he takes pride in it, but also he will never deny anyone a meal. Anyone, friend, foe, anyone. Because as a kid, he was once shipwrecked on an island for I forget how long with his mentor, Redfoot Zeph. And they were starving. They starved. Like, Zeph, being the adult, he was a pirate at the time, actually Sanji's enemy. He gave Sanji all the food. And like, Sanji ran out of food, I forget after how long. And so they were both just starving. So Sanji knows the pain of being hungry. And so he never wants anyone to experience that pain. So if he can help it, he's going to feed you. You know, he never deny anyone a meal. And like, it gets him in trouble. It does, it gets him in trouble. Like, he feeds his enemies, but you know, he stands behind that principle of, you know, no one should go hungry. And I love it. I just love it. Sorry, I keep getting nostalgia in my head for it. And then, so then next member of the crew, we have Tony Chopper, who is a reindeer. He was a normal reindeer, well, normal, born with a blue nose. And so he was an outcast just as a reindeer, just like a normal reindeer. And then one day as a reindeer, he stumbled upon the human fruit, which anyone who eats it, I don't really know how this would work with humans, by the way, but any animal that eats it is going to become like a human. So he took on human traits. Like, he started walking on two legs, he speaks and has intelligence. And so he became even more of an outcast. Like, he tried to bond with humans, but they just saw him as a monster. And so they kicked him out. But then one person, you know, one day, getting ahead of myself, he tried to join this, he tried to go to this village and be a part of that, and they turned away, called him a monster, and they shot at him, and a couple of bullets grazed his arm. And then that's how he met Dr. Hiraluk, I think was his name. Hiraluk, maybe. Anyways, who was considered a crazy quack, but he believed that everyone deserved medical care. And so he took Chopper in, and he basically raised Chopper as his son for a little over a year, I believe, until he tragically got sick and died. But Chopper, through that, decided that he wanted to carry on that legacy, and Chopper wanted to be a doctor, wants to be a doctor, and he believes that no one should be without care. So, you know, same thing, like, this will get him into trouble. Like, you can tell there's a theme here, that these characters are all upstanding people. You know, like, they'll help anyone because they have these strong principles and sets of morals. And so, yeah, so Chopper's thing is, Chopper is, like I said, he's the doctor. And because he knows what it's like to be abandoned, alone, and hurt, he wants to heal the world. And not just heal them in the sense of a doctor, like physically disease and whatnot. He wants to make it smile. Like, he knows what it's like to be hurt and alone, so he doesn't want anyone else to ever feel hurt and alone. And in the beginning, it's kind of hard for him to push past that because he felt all this neglect and whatnot, you know, in his own life. But Luffy and the crew help him get over that. And so, okay, next crew member I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go with, let's talk about Nami. Nami is, she was interesting. She's the ship's navigator. And her original motivation was a bit confusing to me, because I remember her original motivation was money. And it still kind of is, sort of, because she never really lost it. But like, the whole thing was her village where she grew up was taken over by a gang of ruthless fishman pirates, who it's exactly like you sound. It's creatures of the sea in like a humanoid kind of form. And the leader of them, he told Nami, he's like, oh, you want your village back? Sure, I'll give it to you for, I think it was 100 million berries. Berries is what they call their money in this world. And so from that point on, money became her motivation. Like, I'm gonna rob, cheat, and steal to save up, and I'm gonna buy my village back. But before that, within that, she wanted to be a navigator. Like, she wanted to, her dream was also to map the world. Like, she wanted to draw a map of the world. And then when she meets Luffy, you know, initially she just sees him as an idiot who she can rob. But, you know, through persistence and whatnot, Luffy convinces her to join the crew. And then Luffy, oh my god, remember the crew I forgot, fucking Usopp. I'm stupid, why can't I remember all this shit? Usopp is the ship's sniper. I'll get to him too in a minute. So yeah, so Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp, they help Nami free her village from these fishermen pirates. And so at that point, she doesn't need the money anymore. So then her motivation becomes wanting to see the world and draw a map of it. But then she's still so crazy about the money is the other thing. Like, throughout the series, money is always still a motivating factor, but it doesn't need to be. So I don't really understand that part. Like, the map thing I understand, but yeah, the money, it's a bit weird that she's still hung up on the money. Anyway, speeding through, next we got Usopp. Usopp is the sniper, although he doesn't use a gun, he uses a slingshot. Usopp's thing is that when he was growing up, his father left him to be a pirate. And so he always wanted to be a brave adventurer himself, but he's a coward. Like, he's still, I actually haven't seen some of the newer episodes, so I'm not sure if he's over that or not, but he is definitely the coward through most of it. Don't get me wrong, he pushes through this to fight for his friends and whatnot, because he wants to be an adventurer. He grew up, in his village, there was this young girl who was sick and couldn't leave her house, so he would climb up to her window and tell her these fake stories of adventures that he had. And so when he decides to become a Straw Hat Pirate Luffy, he decides that he wants to actually have adventures now. He wants to have stories worth telling. So he joins to do that. And also, you know, like I said, he wants to also emulate his father a little bit there. And yeah. So then next we have Robin, Nico Robin. Nico Robin is, you know, I'm not entirely sure what her exact role on the ship is. Like, you know, like I said, like how Nami is the navigator and Sanji's the cook, Chopper's the doctor. I'm not really exactly sure what you call Robin. I mean, she's kind of like the ship's library? Kind of, maybe? She's the smart one. Like, she's definitely a smart one. Like, she has, like, before joining the crew, like, out of everyone, she traveled the world the most. She had the most, like, extensive knowledge. She's also kind of, I forget what again, it's been a while and I'm not there in my current episodes I'm watching, so I forget what the exact title they call her is, but, like, she has magic powers. Like, I don't believe, again, it's been so long I don't remember, I don't believe she ate a devil fruit like Luffy did, but she has powers. Like, her most famous one is that she creates multiple arms. Like, she does this weird thing with her arms, she kind of crosses them like this, and then multiple arms kind of spring forth through her arms, and, like, she uses those, like you can use those to, like, build a bridge that, like, others can walk across. So you use them to restrain things, or, you know, reach high places, or, you know, just pound on people. You know, you got a million arms punching you in the face, that hurts. But yeah, and so, like, her thing though is, like, her motivating factor is she's always been kind of, as I remember anyway, she's always been kind of a wanderer. Like, she's never really had a family. She's never really had people, you know, to, you know, really, she did at a point when she was really young, but then I forget, she was with that giant, I forget how he died. But, you know, like, again, her motivating thing is she's never really had family, which she now has with the Straw Hat Pirates. So, you know, she wants to stick with them. She wants to help them. She loves them. They love her. There we go. And then there's Brooke. Brooke is the ship's musician. And Brooke is a skeleton. See, Brooke was a member of, I can't remember what it is. I can't, oh God, it's been so long. It was a member of a different pirate crew who all got lost on the Grand Line in this fog, and they all tragically died except for Brooke. Brooke had eaten the devil fruit. I forget what it was called. It might have even been called the skeleton fruit, I forget. But so yeah, so Brooke is just a skeleton. And he joins the pirates he joins the pirates actually pretty easily. Like, he meets Luffy and his crew and he's all alone. And Luffy sees talking skeletons, like, whoa, you should join our crew. And Brooke instantly says yes. Like, he joins. Again, I think with him, he misses that sense of camaraderie. He misses that sense of camaraderie. Because like I said, for years, like, he had been alone, stuck on his ship with no one. And then he meets Luffy and the crew are instantly accepting of him, and he just joins on. He's on board. Good to go. And then there's Franky. Franky is the ship's, might even called the shipwright. Franky is the guy who takes care of the ship. See, when they meet Franky, the original ship that the Straw Hat Pirates have is called the Going Merry. And when they meet Franky, the Going Merry is destroyed, pretty much, and they need a new ship. And Franky builds them their current ship, which is called the Thousand Sunny. And so that's Franky's job. Franky built the ship, he maintains the ship. And the cool thing about Franky is a cyborg. So when they originally meet Franky, he's a bad guy. He's on this island they stop on, and I forget if he specifically just trying to rob them, or if he's trying to steal their ship, or he might even kidnap Nami. Again, it's been too long, I can't remember. But Franky is the shipwright. And I remember the way they get Franky is, so they have a fight and Luffy beats him. And like, because of that, Franky builds this respect towards him and he joins. Like, I don't even remember I don't even specifically remember if Luffy or Zoro or anyone asking him to join. Like, he just kind of inserts himself, from what I remember. And it's awesome. Like, Franky is like very like push forward, go, high energy. He runs on cola, that's the other thing. It's like he's part cyborg. His power, he runs on soda. Like, he has compartments in his arms and chest where you pop out the empty bottle and he puts it in a new bottle and it gives him energy. Like, he doesn't die if he runs out of cola, but he runs on cola, and it's great. Anyways, my whole point is, watch this show. Like, if you can, watch One Piece. It's amazing. I love it. Like I said, I'm rewatching it for the first time in years, and I love it. I believe everyone should watch that show. It's great. I love it. So, but now, again, my podcast can do whatever I want. Next thing I want to talk about, get a little more light, is something a little more recent that's coming to an end. I want to talk about Gotham briefly, because I believe as of recording this today, it is Thursday, there's a new episode coming. And there's only like 2 or 3 episodes left, maybe. And it's a good show. It was a good show. I mean, I guess I know until it's fully over, I can't fully judge it, but Gotham was a solid show. I was entertained. It's it's absolutely more of a Jim Gordon story than Bruce Wayne / Batman. Because this is early. Like, this is literally, the show picks up like the day Bruce Wayne's parents died. So Bruce Wayne is a kid throughout this show. It's kid Bruce Wayne, but it's, 30 mid-30s, early 40s Jim Gordon. So we're seeing the evolution of Jim Gordon. We're seeing Jim Gordon become the man, you know, we all know him to be in the comics, you know, the stoic detective. And but you know, the show doesn't stay strict to the comics at all. Like, we're seeing Jim Gordon, you know, having to do some shady shit to keep Gotham safe. And it works for me. Like, you know, it's a fresh take on it. It's like, hey, you know, like, we're gonna stay true to the core of who Jim Gordon is, but we're gonna tweak the story a little bit. You know, like, we're gonna throw in some twists and turns. He's gonna get from A to B to become the Jim Gordon we all know and love, but we're gonna throw some stuff in there. And it's him and Bullock. Donald Logue in the show. He's great too. Like, Bullock is true to form. Like, if you know anything about the Batman lore, like, Bullock is kind of like the not shady detective, but he is the more flexible one. Like, he's the one who will do some bad to serve the greater good. That's his whole thing. Nothing too bad, but he will do some bad to serve the greater good. Whereas Jim Gordon always tries to be Mr. Straight and Narrow. But again, like we're seeing here, sometimes he's got to get his hands dirty. Like, he really tries not to, but sometimes he's got to get his hands dirty. He's got no real problem with lying to serve the greater good, but in terms of, like, you know, like bending the law and whatnot, he really tries not to. But again, sometimes he has to, and that of course adds to the drama of the show. And I enjoy it. Is it the greatest show on TV ever? No, but it's a Batman show. And yeah, that's another cool thing too. So we get to see kid Bruce Wayne. Like, that's something I never thought I really wanted to see. And it's not bad. Like, the actor they got to play Bruce, pretty solid. I'd love to see, I want to say this kid is like 16 or 17 in real life. I'd love to see what this kid looks like when he's 30. He might be a legit contender to be a Batman at that age. Who knows? Like, his acting's not bad at all. And he looks like I said, right now as a kid, he looks like a Bruce Wayne. So like I said, I'd be curious to see what this kid grows up to look like. He might be a contender to be a Batman. Who knows? The actress they got to play Selina Kyle too. So in the way they've set up is Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne are the same age. Also, so is no, he's a little older. I'll get there in a second. But yeah, the actress they got to play Selina Kyle, big fan of hers. She's playing that character very well, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, like, she's absolutely playing with the whole, like, flirting with Bruce thing, you know, got her own hidden agendas. You don't really, she's a bit of a wild card, don't know what she's gonna do. But, you know, really good heart, but way more morally flexible than Bruce. And, like, just the way this young actress is playing it, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Like, I'll tell you this, I like her Catwoman better than Anne Hathaway's. And she's only a kid, so, you know, I mean, like I said, I don't know, and this goes for Bruce Wayne too, I highly doubt these kids will ever play the grown-up versions of their characters, but I would be interested. I'd be interested to see what they're doing in 20 years or so. When they turn around 30, see, maybe, hey, something to look at. You know, there's promise there. They're not great. I'm by no means calling great, but they're good. They're definitely good. And then they have, I know this because I watch him in Shameless too. They have Cameron Monaghan as the Joker. And he's a little bit older than Bruce, but you know, they're still like, they're playing him off as the same age. But, oh man. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the route they've taken him to be the Joker. Like, we've seen the Joker's origin pretty much, and the way they're doing the show is that the real name of the Joker in this, his name is Jerome. Jerome had a brother named Jeremiah, and Jeremiah was the fucking crazy one. Like, Jeremiah was the precursor to the Joker. Like, he was the crazy one. But like, the potential, because Jerome was his twin brother, I know, like, the potential was always there for Jerome to kind of lose it and go crazy. But like, Jerome was the respectable one. But when Jeremiah died, he left this thing for Jerome, where Jerome opened it and it gassed him, Joker gas, and it twisted him and made him crazy. And now he's become the Joker that we all are more familiar with. Again, I don't necessarily agree with the origin or that, but I love the way Cameron Monaghan was playing it. Like, Cameron Monaghan is, he's probably my favorite actor in the show, and like, he didn't come on until the show's only, what is this, the 4th season? There's only 4 or 5 seasons, maybe. He didn't come on until like the 2nd or 3rd. But I love him. He's crushing it. So I'm very interested to see where that show is going. Like I said, they do these different takes on the characters. Oh no, you know what else I love? I love Robin Lord Taylor in the show as Penguin. He's crushing that. Oh man, that's the Penguin. Like, the look is absolute perfection. Like, granted, like, he's a younger Penguin at the moment, because again, this is an origin type thing. So he'll, you know, I could see him putting on the way in the future, but oh my god, the mannerisms, the walk, everything. Oh, he crushes that. He crushes the Penguin. Like, the psychotic nature of it too. Oh man, I love the way he's playing the Penguin. That's great. And then we've got I forget, I don't know all the actors and actresses in the show, sorry, but we got the guy who plays the Riddler. He's good. He's a little older than I would have liked. I mean, I know not all Batman's villains are the same age as him. Some of them are a little older, a little younger, but I think the Riddler's a little too old. Like, when Batman grows up to fight him, he would be like a, I don't know, like a 60-year-old man maybe. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean, he plays the role fine. A bit more psycho than I would have liked. Like, he's definitely got the arrogance down with the, you know, the whole I'm smarter than you puzzles kind of thing. That's good. But like, with the Riddler, they play with this whole, the Riddler is one person, a split personality. Like, there's the Riddler and then there's Edward Nygma. Like, I never personally saw the Riddler as that way. Like, it was just one person. Like, that's the Riddler I know and love and enjoy. But they've gone with this whole split personality thing, and it's not my favorite, to be honest. It's okay, but it's not great. So, but I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like, you know, it doesn't hinder the series. Like, it's not terrible. It's all right. The part, even though she's playing the role well, my least favorite part of this show is Barbara Keane, who is, yeah, as I told you, I'm recording this in my, as I've said earlier, I'm recording this in my car, so yeah, occasionally there's gonna be some phone calls that come through over that. But yeah, I'll deal with that later. Hopefully they don't call back. If they do, I may just have to cut, and I'll have the phone conversation and come back. But yeah, so yeah, she's my least favorite part of the show because, like, granted, there isn't much lore on Barbara Keane, at least not that I'm personally aware of, like Gordon's wife. But like, they're really stretching with her. Like, she's a villain. Like, she's straight up a villain. Like, she's not married to Jim. She's like the female criminal underlord. Like, you know, in the show, all these criminals are fighting for power and control of the city, and she's like the female, you know, she's like the head female crime boss, and I hate it. Like, I don't like it at all. Like, she plays the role, the actress plays the role fine, like, for what's handed her, like, yo, do this. She's doing it fine, but I just hate the character. Like, it's, like, absolutely have her in the show, because, again, the focus of the show is Jim Gordon. You absolutely need her, but let her be his wife. Like, let her be his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and then, like, have her struggle with just, like, being his wife. Like, we see how it takes a toll on Jim. Like, let's see it take a toll on her. Like, of course, I guess you could say it did, because it drove her to be this, you know, criminal mastermind or whatever. But, like, I just don't like the character. I don't like it. I mean, whatever, though. You know, I've seen every episode of the show. I learned to deal with it, but I just don't like that character. Who else we got? I don't know her real name, but Ryan Reynolds, or not Ryan Reynolds' wife, Ryan Reynolds' wife in Deadpool. His wife in Deadpool. I forget the actual real name, but yeah, she's the one who plays his wife in Deadpool. She is she's in the show as well as Dr. Leslie Tompkins. Now, I like her. I like the actress. I like the way she's playing it. The spin on having her be romantic with Jim Gordon, interesting. I'm not fully against it, but I'm not fully for it either. It is interesting. it is something interesting. I wish they would kind of make up their mind about it, because the way it keeps going in the show is like she's his true love. Like early on you thought it was Barbara, it's not, it's her. Like she's his true love, but like they can't make it work because of this, that, and the other thing. And now the show's about to end and they're still on the fucking fence. I really wish they would have just kind of committed one way or the other. Like, okay, we are not gonna be together. Like we're never gonna be together. Like there's no chance. But you know, we still have to have this kind of working relationship. So like they would have either committed to that or committed to like, yeah, we're gonna be together and we're gonna face these problems together. You know, like we'll deal with it somehow, we'll make it work. Of course, you throw in some trials and tribulations, of course, but like they just never fully committed. I wish they would have, to one way or the other. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I think it's a perfectly watchable show. Would I recommend it? Only if you are a big Batman fan like I am. Like I'm a pretty hardcore Batman fan, in case you haven't noticed. There's realizing that too. Again, part of the point of recording this in my car is that I am at the mercy of nature in terms of lighting. It's like right now in where I am in Los Angeles, it is dark and foggy. So that is what I'm dealing with light-wise. I've got the 2 lights on in my car, which might be illegal. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Hopefully not. But yeah. So, because I was going to show off my tattoos here. I've got Batman here and Robin here. But I'm not sure you can see it because of the lighting. So that's a whole thing. But hopefully this looks okay. And I think that's where I'm going to end it today. You know, covered a lot of things. Talked baseball, talked anime a bit. Talked Gotham. And yeah. So, like I said, this is... Hey, so I realized that my camera died as I was giving my outro. So I've just gotten home now, sitting here in my garage, and I looked at the camera and saw that. So I just wanted to record a quick outro. So yeah, so that was the first episode of my podcast. Hope you all like it. If you want to follow me, if you want more of me, basically, you want to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is @KingFranchise88. Same goes for Instagram, KingFranchise88. That's KINGFRANCHIZ, because I'm cool, ZE88. And yeah, I'll have a link on, most likely on Twitter, as to where I'm posting this on YouTube and whatnot. So yeah, this has been Andrew's Awesome Carcast. Thanks for watching. Peace.